All right. Welcome to the 12 Elements of One this Sunday afternoon with the topic of service. And I'm very honored and excited to be here to introduce Sumkhi, who will be giving this talk on service. And I think it's pretty appropriate that we've got Sumkhi here today to talk about service, because this woman, the whole being feels like she's a servant. She's in service to her work, her devotion, her path, and in general, just divinity in general. So I'm really excited about this topic today. And when I think of Sumkhi, I think of her, I visualize her and I see her laughing. And she's got this really great smile and really great laugh. And she has the sparkle in the eyes that just really attracts people to wanting to know more about her and her path. And she just has that kind of that look and that space of in service to her path and to divinity. And she's an amazing yoga instructor and also a pretty amazing kirtan leader. So it's devotional music for those who aren't sure what kirtan is. And when she's singing, you can feel the presence of the divine flowing through her. So she's really, I think, just really good at being able to open up in service to what's wanting to come forth. And just a awesome ball of energy when she's singing. There's just kind of no way you can get around feeling that love and that devotion that she has. So I'm really excited that she's a part of the 12 elements, and I look forward to hearing what she has to say. So let's all, in studio and at home, let's go ahead and close our eyes and just become present with our breath and come present in the body. So close the eyes down and just feel your feet. I invite you to feel your feet and feel where your sits bones and your legs are touching either the ground or your chair. And let the breath become long and deep. So breathing in and out through the nose, if you're able to. Just breathing long and deep, letting the belly become full and the chest expand on the inhale. And then letting the chest come back to center point and the belly comes in on your exhale. So inhaling, letting the belly again become full and deep, expanding the chest. And then on your exhale, you can consciously draw your navel point back. And just continue this breath in this manner. And just letting the body become present and letting your mind still and letting the soul just be very present. So bringing yourself into present time, present space. And follow your breath. Follow each inhale, follow each exhale.
Hi. I'm Sumkhi, and that was such a nice introduction by Allison. I hope that, my vibrant, lovely spirit will come through. So I was asked by Jonathan to speak about service, which is actually such a powerful thing that we're all doing. We're all called to be of service. And, I think it's about 70% of the world is in the service industry, which means, it's like we're not producing actual goods. We're all working and providing services for one another. So it's not just, hey, let's be a servant. It's not just, hey, go do something good for humanity. The fact of the matter is, whether or not we like it, we are of service to each other. And one of the things, so I was meditating on, okay, well, what am I going to speak about? I like to have people chant, and I like to have people dance around, and I like to have people do hatha yoga when they're in front of me. But, to talk for a while, So I meditated. And in meditation, that thing that Allison was talking about, that thing called service, comes up. Service to the greater good. Service to humanity. And then when you really, really look at it from a yogic standpoint, which we all are yogis, the greatest service that you can have is to yourself. Because yourself is actually all beings. Not just, you're not individualized. You're not this one thing that's alone. You're never, ever, ever alone. It's impossible. In fact, the word alone means all is one. So in that sense, it's like, okay, well, how do you serve oneself? And, and I've really seen that it's through meditation. It is through spiritual practice. And it's when we get quiet. And in that quiet place, we can actually hear ourselves. And it's not just this, this great cacophony of noise when you turn on the television, when you drive out in the street, when you're out, socializing. There's so much sound, so much babble. Babble, babble, babble. And then we tend to get confused. Okay, well, if there's all this sound and there's all this noise and there's all these televisions and there's all these people talking, well, then who am I? And how do I serve me? And how do I serve them? So we get back to, okay, well, if there is no other self than you, then you have to go in there and you have to listen. And really the art of meditation isn't, go sit over there and become a stone Buddha or be, this, be in this monastic cave by yourself in, a very tight cross-legged position, stilling your mind into nothing. That's not meditation. Meditation itself is simply listening to yourself. And when you listen, then you will hear, oh, this is how I can be of service. So it was said, by JFK, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. It's like that. Then you can really listen and say, oh, this is where I can be of service to myself and all beings. Oh, when I am happy and when I am full and when I'm filled with joy and when I'm singing and when I'm dancing and I'm alive, it's infectious. Everyone can feel it. The whole universe can feel it. The insects can feel it. The birds can feel it. The bees can feel it. Everyone feels the vibration. And that vibration, that you carry around with you is powerful. You don't have to do anything about it. You don't have to actually run around saying, I'm vibrating. Light. You are light. You are love itself. You are, what you're looking for is within you. You don't have to go around saying that. It's nice. It's nice we have these webcasts. It's nice that we're reminding each other. But really, you remind each other just by being. And so it's like that. Okay. I sit and I meditate and I get quiet and I listen and then I hear, today what would be of great service is if you eat really well. Is if you go out and you find food that is good, that feels good, that vibrates at a high level, that isn't processed. Today, that is my service. Then the next day, my service, I want to wake up like Allison did today. I want to go and ecstatically dance. I'm going to go and ecstatically dance for no reason at all except for ecstatically dancing. No reason at all. And that ecstasy, that joy that she carries around, it affects everybody that she sees and she touches. And what did she do? What was that service about? It was really about her enjoying herself. And it's endless. It's endless. So then we go in and it's like, okay, I think, today I really want to help the poor, people who don't have enough to eat, who don't have enough clothing, who don't have enough shelter. It's like that's the big service. We think about that as the huge service. And absolutely we should all do that. But if you do it, with a very long face and a very, and you're starving yourself and you haven't eaten well and you haven't figured out how to get your food properly and you haven't ecstatically danced and you don't have, you don't have any of that, then what is that person going to see? They're going to see not compassion, they're going to see pity. And nobody wants pity. It doesn't help anybody, right? You can't even really pity yourself, right? You go around and you do a little pity party for yourself and it's just, it's just wah, 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 wah. It's not music. There is music that's just like, that's music. But you want, So when you go out there and you say, okay, I'm going to do these big things, I'm going to go and do big service, I'm going to go and help people who need me, don't go out there with a big frown on your face and with, without any sense of hope or any sense of, idea that there is something bigger than your fears or their fears. You can't do that. So first you serve yourself. That divine art of listening is difficult. Why? Why is it difficult? Because your service, so we've got these two words in Sanskrit, right? Karma and dharma. Karma just means action. Dharma is righteous action. When you listen, you might hear that your karma, your greatest karma, like for me, what I've spent a lot of my life doing, aside from being a yoga teacher and a chanter and a singer, and is working in advertising in corporate America. It might be that you listen and it tells you, one of your greatest services and where you'll spend a lot of your time, Sumkhi, is in advertising agencies in corporate America. And before this all happened, I thought advertising was evil. But then you go in and you see it's just a trade, just like any trade. So that's my karma. My karma is to work in advertising. My dharma is to make it as righteous as I can, is to make it in service of the highest that I can. So you see, choice comes in there. We say it's like, what is choice as far as service? You hear all of us. I'm going to be an idealist. I'm going to do this very ideal task, and it's going to make me very happy, and all of humanity very happy. Fabulous. Then you go into life, and you're like, well, I've got to eat. And I got to pay rent. I like electricity. I got to pay electric bills. You can be off the grid. No worries. It's tough life though. Right? But you can do it. And humanity has existed for millions of years without electricity. So then you go in and it's like, oh, okay, well, my ideal and what I need seem to be maybe far away from each other. And it's like then you start practicing yoga and you go to the Toltec Center and you start meditating and you're like, oh, it means union. Yoga means union. I can't have my ideal over here and my needs right here. I need them to be united, one. I got to put them together. So then you go in and you say, okay, there has been so many lifetimes that has brought me into the here and now with all of these modern things like electricity and rent and corporations and and poverty and sickness and all these things that we have in our modern world. And you say, okay, I am going to find who I really am, that I am, as our teachers say. We are made of bliss. I'm going to know that, and then I'm going to go out into the world with my karma, with these actions that seem to be coming up for me, and I'm going to choose to make it into the highest dharma out there. I'm going to choose that. That's where choice comes in. Because choice, it's like it's a powerful thing. We make 10 million choices every day. Can't even count them. The mind thinks so fast. I think I'm going to turn right. Oh no, I'm going to turn left. Oh, I'm going to leave at this time. Ooh, we're making lots and lots of little bitty choices. But that big choice, where we say, okay, I'm going to sit, and I'm going to meditate, and I'm going to listen, and then I'm going to see the big picture of my life. And that big picture of my life, we might think of it from, birth until death of this lifetime in this physical form, but in actuality, and this has nothing to do with belief, you have been incarnating many, 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 many lifetimes. And because of all these lifetimes, then you have these karmas. So service. When you say, okay, I'm going to go in and I'm going to make this choice to live out my service in the highest way, and it could be kicking and screaming. For 15 years I've been in advertising, kicking and screaming, and it's fun. Love it. You realize that you can go in and you can actually enjoy it, and you can do all these idealistic things like teach yoga before work and at lunch and after work, and chant mantras before work and during work, silently in your heart. Very powerful. High vibration. Then you're in service to anybody who walks across your path. You're awake. You're aware. A need happens in front of you. A need. Lots of needs happen in front of you. Then you're able to provide it. My mother is a physician. She's a doctor. It's a very high service. And, she's in charge of many, many, many patients. And you think about that as it's a very lofty service to be a doctor. But you really, when I grow up with somebody like that, and when you have a mother as a doctor, you're surrounded by physicians, lots of them. You see that, these people are just like you and me, It is just that there is a need, and they fulfill it. So it could be that the need that you're able to fulfill is somebody's thirsty, so you go get them water. Very simple. Whereas my mother, it's like somebody has their hand cut open and she'll sew it up. That's what she does, and she's skilled and she knows how to do that. But is it of better service to sew up a hand or give somebody water? Not one is better than the other. If somebody needs water, you give them water. It's a powerful service. But if you are not listening, and if you are not awake, and if you're not there, then you might not notice that somebody just needs some water. So service. I've also, I think a lot of us, because, we're old yogis who are, conscious and aware, we, are part of communities, and we are part of ashrams and yoga centers, and we have that word, seva, service, karma yoga, service, and it is one of, the three big paths of yoga, and bhakti, devotion, very powerful. Devotion, awesome. Prayer, love, bhakti, very powerful. Jnana, wonderful path. Knowledge, wisdom, this brain in service of the heart, consciousness, putting that in place. So it's a very big path. And then you have that third path, karma yoga or seva. That whatever it is that you cultivate in yourself with all of your practices, that you give it out to others. Others and you are one and the same. But your needs might be very different from the person next to you. So you have to know yourself. It could be that, for instance, for me, I have this bracelet. This makes me happy. Put this bracelet on. You try to give it to another person, they don't care for it. It's not their bracelet. I am not of service to them by trying to give them something that I love, that they may not appreciate. Yeah? So you have to know, okay, individual self, my needs. Different from that person's needs, the person next to me. But we're the same. We are essentially one. 99% of us, each other, humanity, I would say human beings, pretty much the same, absolutely the same. That 1% difference, huge. It's vast. It's infinite. You can play in it. Big creativity. Big. And you honor that. But you have to know that 99% self that is the same in all beings. And you are devotional to that. Hey, I'm going to worship you today. Om Shanti Sumkhi Devi. It's one of my names. I have so many names I can't remember them. You honor that. And then you're able to see, okay, Vanita, Vanita, today she wants to wear red. So she put on a red jacket. I wouldn't know that. I'm not Vanita. But she knows that. And that's for all of us, for everybody, who's listening. First know thyself. Serve thyself. Honor oneself. And really, it's so good. It's goodness. And then that just spreads out like honey. Honey, not so difficult. And then we don't judge other people for having the vocations that they do. And we don't think, oh, that vocation is better than or less than that vocation. Everybody's got a different career, a different vocation, different paths of service. One is better than the other. It is only that sense of dharma, of that sense of, okay, I'm going to make this good, I'm going to make this the highest, that makes it better. You've seen it, it's like with people who clean, right? And cleaning services, janitors, housekeeping. There's a wonderful vacuum cleaner going on in the background here. Cleaning, is an amazing service. It is of the highest service. But it's difficult. You got a stack of dishes in the dishwasher. You don't want to clean that. Maybe. So you go, but you go and you clean it. And then there it is. You watch when you clean each dish how awake and aware you are as you do it. And there's your service. Because it is noticeable by the next person who picks up that dish. You pick up the dish and you're like, lipstick smudge. Very simple things. So you wash it. I'm horrid at washing dishes. I don't even know why I'm using it as an example. But you notice that. You notice, like, if somebody, has that cleaning duty, which happens in all places, that cleaning duty, how much awareness was happening when they cleaned it, because you share the same space. And, you go in and you honor each other and you love each other, and perhaps you clean it more if you want it more clean. But it is a duty, it is a service that all human beings have to do. Cleaning. Very simple. Wow. And we say we don't have to make all this stuff so complex, or the mundane and the divine are really one. So it's like, oh, okay, here we are, I want to know how I can be of the greatest service. And so I think I'm going to do this huge, lofty thing. But really, did I wash the dishes? And when I washed the dishes, was I actually washing the dishes? it's beautiful, So that's the, it's so sweet. It becomes so much not, these ideals that you can't ever meet. You stop beating yourself up. You stop saying, okay, well, why am I not enlightened? You stop going, oh, why am I not Bill Gates? I hear that one a lot. Bill Gates, he's done a lot for humanity. Really? Do we really need computers? There's the laughing. The laughtering. It's just you really go in and you question. You just question these thoughts. Yeah. It's like you stop comparing yourself to somebody out there in the media who's been propagated because they've done a lot of advertising and PR and marketing. We're experts. They've propagated the idea that they are of greater service to humanity than you are. It's not true. And so, it's that, it's like, oh, let's get really, really, really simple about this. Service, the path of service, karma yoga, the path of bhakti, love, and the path of wisdom, jnana, are all one. They're all the same. There's not one better than the other. When you are wise and filled with compassion, your service is wise and filled with compassion. And it's filled with love. Yeah, and love, 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 love. Is Ganesha. Jai Ganesha. Ganesha is the elephant-headed deity, big belly. And Ganesha is my Ishtadevata, meaning that I have a very close relationship, very mysterious, to the Lord Ganesha. And mostly that I didn't ask for. I didn't ask for Ganesha to have this experience of him. He just comes to me. And he says, oh, right now, mind, too much. Put it aside. Put it aside. Om Gam Ganesha Namaha, Om Gam Ganesha Namaha. And then I chant Om Gam Ganesha Namaha, Om Gam Ganapate Namaha, Om Gam Ganesha Namaha. Ganapate, 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 Ganapate. To remind me. To remind myself, Om Gam Ganesha Namaha. There I go again, trying to make an obstacle out of the simplest thing. Remove that obstacle, will you, Ganesh? Okay. Ganesh comes in, this being comes in, this energy comes in. The obstacle, the dishes, still there. But I can be of service. I can be awake while I wash them. Ganesh, one of our greatest obstacles right now in Austin, Texas, it might be all throughout the, the driving world, is traffic. So we think, right, when you're in traffic, that all these cars ahead of you are in your way. They're obstacles to you getting to some place. Right? That's what we think. They're all trying to get someplace, all these beings and all their cars, just like you are. So you chant Om Gam Ganeshaya Namaha, Om Gam Ganapate Namaha while you're in traffic, so that you can remove those obstacles in your own head, thinking that there are obstacles. It is as it is. Isn't that delightful? It is as it is. And so there you go again. Okay, it is as it is. The best is it. I give my best to it. That's service. That's from Carolyn Mace. Carolyn Mace, I quoted her. The best is it. I give my best to it. And that's, it's like, again, we go back. Okay, let's meditate. We listen. Then we're aware of what's in front of us. It could be that what's in front of you is the need to market an idea or a thought and propagate it through advertising. It could be that. And, so it's like, that is just one of the many jobs I've had, actually. I mean, let's just say that I can say in the past 15 years, I can put it all advertising. One big job. Public relations, marketing, one big job. We've done it. Yoga teaching hat. Put on the yoga teaching hat. Om. Put that one on, okay. And you put on I put on the singing hat. Say I'm gonna sing. I'm gonna sing to you. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. Put that one on. Da-da-da-da-da-da-ba-ba-ba-da-ba-dee-ba-da. And you put that hat on. I'm going to dance for you. Put that hat on. All these things are service, but I don't actually sit there and go, oh, today I'm a dancer. I'm dancing. Today I'm a dishwasher because I'm washing dishes. Today I'm a lawnmower because I'm mowing my lawn. Today, I am a driver because I'm driving my car. Today, I am, you kind of just do all these things, And the thing that permeates through all of this doing is love. How aware am I? How aware am I? Love and awareness are one. Without awareness, no love. That, I could go on and on about love and awareness. Without awareness, no love. Love is not a feeling. All those, infatuations and feelings that we all come up with, and we think it was euphoric love. If it doesn't last, it ain't love. That ain't love. Ora, now, in Italian. Solo amore resterà per sempre. Only love remains forever. That's love. So you have all these little services that you do, all these little acts. You put your different hats on, all your yoga teaching hat, your dancing hat, your singing hat, your advertising hat, your driving hat, your washing the dishes hat. All these services that you do. And all those things are temporary. Boop, boop, boop. They might repeat the next day, so I have to wash dishes tomorrow. But they're temporary. They last for a moment. That thing that lasts forever is love. And you stick it in there. You are that. You don't have to stick it in there. You are that. And so you do all these things. You chant and you meditate and you breathe and you listen. Not because you're not love, and by doing all these things you become love. No, you do all those things so that you remind yourself, I am love. You remind yourself of what is already there. It's there. You don't gain anything. You don't gain anything by doing these practices. It's already there. So may we be all of service. It's not what I wrote down. Everything I just said is not what I wrote down. You write, I'm going to go and talk in front of people on a camera. So you write it out. You write, you meditate. And then, and then you say other things. And so, so I think maybe I'll have a chant a little bit. It's a nice thing. Yeah, very easy. Yeah. And just a simple chant. Om. Om is a sound of silence. And, and then we have these human vocal cords and bodies, and we're like, I think I'm going to imitate that sound I hear. I think it sounds like om, om. You say om. And then gum. This Ganesha's in here. Gum. This is Ganesha's sound. The sound of the remover of obstacles is gum. Ganeshaya Namaha. Namaha, in Sanskrit, it means service. I give myself of service to you. Namaha. I and thou are the same. Namaste. I and thou are the same. I give myself to you. So, do it one by one and close your eyes. Om. Together. Gum, gum, Ganeshaya, Ganeshaya, Namaha, Namaha, Om Gam, Om Gam. Ganeshaya, Ganeshaya, Namaha, Namaha, Om Gam, Ganeshaya, Namaha. Om Gam Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Gam Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Gam Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Gam Ganeshaya Namaha. Yeah, we'll just sit in silence and absorb and listen.